Hello, Padma ma'am.
Good afternoon, Jayashree.
Yeah, good
All fine?
afternoon.
All fine?
Yeah, all fine. Yeah. You are there now with me.
Yeah, I'm there. We are all there. Dr. Mahajan sir is there.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Having a great
Yeah,
time?
hello. Hello. Yes.
Enjoy.
I'm quite in.
Yeah,
Good connectivity also, so I don't think there should be an issue.
Yeah, yes, sir.
sure, sir. Good afternoon, Hiramat sir. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Thanks for considering to our request and coming for talking. Your talk is being looked forward to by all of us.
Yeah.
Because it's
I hope it
pleasure to hear you.
rises to that level.
Yes, always, sir.
Pratik?
Yes, ma'am.
व्हिडिओ MCF चा शेअर करा ना, म्हणजे आपण सुरू करू.
हो चालेल.
महाजन सर, shall we start?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
It is now, what's the time now? 3:30. Should we wait for 5 minutes more?
Sir,
No,
but
because
the
it is
video
YouTube live, sir.
presentation will be there. By then, people will join, sir.
Okay, fine.
And it is YouTube live, sir. They have started YouTube live streaming.
Okay, fine.
Pratik, share MCF video first. Pratik? Hello, Pratik.
Yes.
हाँ, आता आपले समरीचे व्हिडिओज we'll start with this lecture.
Yes. एकच मिनिट करतो मी share.
Recording also.
Yeah, recording also. Good afternoon, friends. Today we have come to the last lecture of this Rise and Shine webinar series. So, myself, Dr. Jayashree Sonis, Dr. Prakash Mahajan sir, and Dr. Padma Iyer madam, welcome you all for this Rise and Shine webinar series. Let's go through the summary of Rise and Shine webinar series. Next slide. So, Mukta Charitable Foundation has conducted online certificate course Rise and Shine, a series of 12 lectures on the essentials of effective and techno-savvy medical practice management from 22nd December 2021 to 2nd February 2022. Next slide. And the brain behind this series is Dr. Prakash Mahajan sir. He is a founder and trustee of MCF, our guru. So he was always keen to give knowledge, to impart knowledge to our doctors, and he thought that this lectures should enable all the medical practitioners in their medical practice, that should help us them in their medical practice. Next series. Next slide. The aim of this course was to learn the practical skills of management, to learn about the time management, to help the doctors to digitalize the clinic, to know the medical legal aspects of the medical practice, to understand the importance of developing specialties in our practice, and also to learn about the management of the small hospitals and to develop better patient-doctor relationship. Next slide. So here we thought we will go through the topics which were covered in this web series. Next. Learning techniques and how to keep updated, which was the topic covered by Dr. Sanjay Pujari sir. Dr. Prakash Mahajan sir himself guided on developing specialties in our practice. Next. Mr. Chittaranjan Dev sir guided us on why to computerize, why doctors should know use computers, how internet should be used by the doctors, and how to digitalize the clinic by going paperless. Even Monica Nagare ma'ams, she's a chartered accountant, she guided us on financial management for doctors. Next. Dr. Avinash Bhondwe sir told us about the day-to-day management of our clinic. And international motivational speaker, Dr. Anuradha Tote ma'am, she told us about the time management and doctor-patient relationship. Next. Managing a small hospital was a very important topic, and also Dr. Praveen Darak guided us on that. And what are the medical legal aspects of the practice and for medical practice? The landmark judgments were discussed by Dr. Jayant Navrange sir. And today we have Dr. Jagdish Hiremat sir, who is going to guide us on multitasking. Next. So while going through this, we were having stalwarts who guided us in different aspects of this medical practice. But we also, this was the first session, and the second session was covered by pearls of practice, where senior practitioners who with their sheer determination and dedication has developed their practice and become successful, guided and shared their pearls of practice with us. They were Dr. Vijay Kumar Jagtap sir, Dr. Rajkumar Shah sir, Dr. Padmanath Keskar sir, Dr. Rajendra Deshmukh sir, Dr. Rajiv Jagtap sir, Dr. Vivek Bellampalli sir, Dr. Padma Iyer ma'am, Dr. Prakash Mahajan sir, Dr. Madhuri Zagorkar ma'am, and Dr. Sachin Yadav sir. So we hope that their pearls of practice were very useful for us. And while conducting this series, we thought our participants should also participate and should also express their feelings or express their mind by through the competitions, and hence we conducted the competitions in 3 points, that is in writing 3 modes, that is in writing skills, PowerPoint presentation, and video making. Next. And the topics of competitions were my personal communication skills, the pearls of my practice, and my steps to digitalize my clinic. And the results of these competitions will be declared at the end of the session. And really, the take-home message, we do think so, we got from this webinar series is we should keep ourselves updated with medical knowledge. Digitalization is need of an hour. Management skills are important for better medical practice. We should try to develop different specialties, skills to enhance our practice. Financial literacy is important in today's world, and we should be a lifelong learner. Next. So friends, don't be afraid of change because it is leading you to a new beginning. And I hope that this webinar series is very useful for you. Next. And here is our team of MCF, which made this webinar series a successful. Next. Thank you. Pratik. Now here, Pratik Saransa biodata. Now, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jagdish Hiremat sir. Sir's name is in itself is his introduction. Sir is practicing cardiologist in Pune since 1989. His other areas of special interest are prevention of atherosclerosis, heart failure, including heart transplantation. He is a director of Cath Lab and chief cardiologist of Heart Transplant Unit of Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune. He is the chair professor of preventive cardiology of Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. He has authored book on coronary angioplasty for cardiologists, and he has to his credit a book and many CDs of public education in cardiology. He is also a teacher for DNB cardiology and EM cardiology for more than 10 years. He is an anchor of Doctors Orchestra, DOCS, for past 19 years. He delivers a very popular public educative program, Eka Shwasache Antar, on Vivid Bharati for past 8 years, which is now available on Storytel. He is involved in many newspapers, articles, and shows, TV shows, and radio programs of public education. With this very brief introduction, I request Dr. Hiremat sir to begin his talk. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jayashree. That were kind words. Discount it a bit because I wrote it myself. So I'm must be writing a little more than what I should. So I'll share my screen first. And today I thought, because you have learned a lot from the stalwarts on various aspects of medical practice and also the byproducts, like some other aspects of medical practice also. I thought I will delve into something different, and that is multitasking. So I consider my honor to be invited to this talk. And in the next about 35 to 40 minutes, I think we'll go through this talk on. And I laud this endeavor because I'm sure it gives extra skills to the practicing doctors of Pune and around. See, this is how I was. I think this is going back to when I was about 33, 34 years old. And this is how I look now. And the way my hair is deteriorated, there is a lot of difference. But hopefully inside, the Salka and Gaira have deepened. It is seen many a summers, and it has become a little more mature. So yesterday I was clever and I wanted to change the world. And today I'm wise. I'm changing myself. That's what Rumi had said, a philosopher. And it is so true for all of us when we reach this a little ripe age, we realized that there is hardly any point, or it's just not possible to change people, but it's better to change our reactions given to the situation. Many a times, all the talks are started with salute to the Almighty, but I thought I nowadays start a talk every time with this slide of blood pressure measurement technique, because now home monitoring has to be encouraged. Every patient will have a BP apparatus at home, and there are electronic apparatus. They are exceptionally accurate, but the method has to be right. And if you want to get good information, then our method, universally, world over, we should be measuring blood pressure by only one method. And that is what is shown here: sitting position, feet on the ground, back rested, arm rested in such a way that the tabletop, the arm and the heart are at the same level. Then, of course, you tie the cuff without a cloth. There should be no cloth on the arm. Once the cuff is tied, sit in one place for 2 minutes, do nothing, and then start the machine. And when you start the machine, that time there should be obviously no tea, coffee, meals, smoke within the next 30 minutes. And then you will get the best method of blood pressure and heart rate. This is how we should encourage and teach our parents. And this is how it should reach in every household. Even a child in a house should know how to measure blood pressure. Going back to my story of how I looked in 1976, this is where captain of the BJ Medical side and all friends around me. 81, I think, when we got engaged, that's how I looked. It was still black and white photography those days. And then you start losing hair, you come into practice, you face some difficulties, you face failures, you go through a lot of difficulties, financial and otherwise. And then the chinks start showing, that you start losing hair. This is how I looked when I was 50 years old. Maybe a few years ago, I looked like this. Nowadays, with my elder brother, Shirish, or MS, is a photograph taken recently on my birthday last year. And if it continues like this, this is how I'll end up looking in the years to come. Probably the brain will be wiser. But it is important to know that a major change in a small community is more important than a minor change in a major community. For example, teaching blood pressure to the whole population, blood pressure measurement, is far more important than having an intra-arterial accurate blood pressure measurement in the hospital. So the first one is a major change in a big community. Sorry, a minor change in a big community. And the second, intra-arterial, absolutely accurate, 100% accuracy, is a major change in a small community. So we must understand the difference. And it is always the major change in a minor change in a major community which makes the difference in bringing about changes in our lives. This photograph I clicked in April 2022 in the first lockdown, just outside my house on the BMCC road. It was all absolutely barren. And this is Ruby Hall at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Otherwise, it's a chock-a-block place, and it is difficult to see any place like this. And of course, then we were relegated to the laptops and computers and the webinars, and the technology came to our foray, including the televideo consultation. But the overall mood continued to be somber, and we all of us suffered through the last 2 years. And in fact, there was so many webinars that there were people who said, "Mujhe webinar nahi attend karna hai." So we sneaked after the first wave. We thought things are over now, already vaccinated twice. So somewhere in December, January, we sneaked a family trip to Kabini forest, and also to see the Black Panther, which is there. Wonderful trip. But by the time we came home, the second wave had already hit, and it hit us very badly. We lost a lot of colleagues and friends, and there were deaths this time as compared to the last one. And of course, the situation was quite grim. But the entertainment industry, I think, kept the flag going. The cricket, we beat England in England, we beat Australia in Australia. The Indian banks did very well. And this phase of life would be remembered as survival of the laziest, because you could do nothing and still you had to spend time so much. For once, I think the doctors, the paramedics got the share or what they deserve from the society was obtained this time actually. And I must salute also the pharma and related industries who kept the flag flying. Not a drug went short or not a drug was not available in the market. Of course, we must salute the Kingfisher and the alcohol market because they brought in revenue, they brought in relief. And nowadays, now it is simpler. It could be still a Kirana Mala se dukan, and it could still you serve wine and help you through bad times. This is I want you to see. The first wave was like this. It took almost 60 days, long period of incubation, then went up, had a problem, and then it took a long time to disappear. The second wave, the Delta, came slowly. It killed many people, lingered on for some time and went on. And fortunately, the Omicron is rapidly risen and already falling. So by turn of about 15th of Feb, probably we should see the end of it. And let's hope it happens and we remain unscathed through this period also. It seems that the sun will rise again, but we should continue to have our masks and the vaccines and the social distancing and the sanitization. I think birds will migrate and come back. Life will start again. Schools and colleges have already started and smiles have also started blossoming in the classrooms. So there is hope. We should turn end of around a few months' time. We should go back to good. We've got a good budget and hopefully things will turn our favor. Why this introduction was to a person who does multitasking all the time, whether you hate him or love him, cannot forget the fact that he is a multitasker. Never saw him taking holidays, whether it was a Sunday or a trip abroad. He keeps doing multitasking like this, and there's thing to learn from him. Not just the energy, but the time management and the way it is delivered, that the way roles are played are something which we must remember. And that is why I'm on topic today, multitasking. Multitasking is always we thought of a young, efficient secretary who talks on the phone, who manages time, who writes letters, receives emails, and so many things she keeps doing. And of course, prepares coffee for herself and the boss. And if you look at what is multitasking in Google, it says the running of multiple programs with a set of instructions in one computer at the same time. That means it is used to keep all the computer's resources at work as much time as possible. So multitasking means doing multiple tasks at one given time, but it is very different for a computer and very different from a human being. This is how we always see a Western housewife. But for me, multitasking is like Ajay Devgan on two horses or two motorbikes for that matter. There is an element of risk in this because this is shooting. Later on, what happens, we don't know. And look at these celebrities, whether it's a New Zealand Prime Minister or the Djokovic who went back from Australia, being with their families is not multitasking. They are doing their task of being in the family now. And when they go to their professional period, they will do that job. And that is what I want to differentiate from serial unitasking from multitasking. Our brain is confused about these two terms, so I'll elaborate on these. So you look at these three young police women, I think they are multitasking, and the father who is taking children to school is also multitasking, but it's not the ideal way to do anyway. A flask which pours on two sides actually is multitasking, but it is not human. It is a machine or an instrument. Actually, if you see singing or through an orchestra, taking so many inputs from the people who are playing around you or from the charts, doing the exact notes, looking at everything else around you is a real part of multitasking. And very few activities are such that you have to do multitasking actually. And look at this Talibani. He is also multitasking with a machine gun on a table, and also he's doing email work for their office. As Indians, I don't think we are very new to multitasking. We are brought up by all these gods and goddesses around us. With each arm or each hand, we'll have some other task to do. And they all present to us with multiple faces, multiple tasks, and we all revere them for their ability to do that much. And the real goddess at home, the Indian housewife, is the one who is a real multitasker, looks after everyone, looks after the family, but stays in the background. And that is what the multitasker she is. So there is an advantage of multitasking is the very efficient execution of jobs in a defined time. If somebody is multitasking, it conserves time. It rings in discipline people around a pet person. An ability of multitasking has led to human dominance on earth. The other animals are behind us because we are the ones, our brain can do all these activities. A part of the frontal lobe is supposed to be doing this multiple tasking. However, it is a myth, as I said. Google definition is for the computer, not for the human brain, because the human brain cannot do two tasks of high level at the same time. Actually, the brain is rapidly switching from one task to the other, or as I said, it is serial unitasking. For example, a busy kitchen like this, people, there are um, uh, people outside waiting for their orders to be collected. And if each one of the chefs is doing his own job, then he is doing a unitask. And when it is combined together, the product will be ready. And that's why it is called multitasking. If there was only one chef and he was to do all these things, he would multitask, but take a long time and would not be efficient at all. So what are the effects of multitasking in our brain? It reduces efficiency and performance. It slows one down and may lead to irritability and depression if you keep multitasking all the time. It leads to mistakes. It interrupts the flow of thoughts. It lowers the IQ over a long period of time. It leads to absent-mindedness. It's bad for overall mental health and absolutely can blow someone's fuse if keeps doing something like this all the time. So the human brain can do serial tasking, and if there are too many wires connected, I'm sure one day the fuse will blow. And that's why multitasking, in fact, is a no-no. So how to keep with? It is impossible to live without multitasking. We are in a modern world. So how to do with it is unlearn the dictum that multitasking is executing multiple tasks parallelly. No, it is executing multiple tasks in a defined period of time. So it would mean a lot of other things which we'll see as we go along. So you have to think that you have to do serial unitasking. But look at this thali which is served nowadays. There is provision for the mobile phone in that. So people have absolutely learned how to do multitasking or how to provide multitasking as a service. And nowadays the hospitals we say are also almost 7-star hospitals. Very high-tech treatments are going on. And everyone, whether it's a medical, paramedical person, even an administrator or a receptionist, has to be multitasking all the time. And there is a little funny way of pati patni or wo is also a kind of multitasking. Now, I'm talking of negative aspects of multitasking. So this might have fun, but it will all wrought with danger if you are multitasking this way. So how to train yourself for serial unitasking? You train yourself to live in the present moment, do one task at a time in the best possible manner, and then switch. So that means you have to list the goals of the day, of the week, of the year, of the decade, and of the life. You have to list your goals on paper or on a smartphone. Then prioritize those goals which we have to be on priority. Time allotment or time management. I'm sure you had wonderful lecture related to this. A lot of homework is required if you want to do multitasking. Avoid distractions, maybe related to the calls or mobile phones. Learn to say no without offending the person opposite you. And of course, delegation of work also would mean you can do multiple tasks in a defined period of time, which is serial unitasking. It is said that a zebra in the jungle does not develop hypertension. Why? because when he's grazing, he's only grazing. When he's being with his girlfriend, he is only mating. He's not thinking of the lion or a tiger when he's doing these activities. His brain is designed only that much. The innate intelligence allows him to do only that much work. That when a lion comes, it will run for its life. It will get saved sometime. It will get killed sometime. But while grazing, he's only grazing. While mating, he's only mating. So this kind of ability to live in a present tense or doing one task at a time helps your brain to remain sane. See, the foreign tourists, when they go out, so we were in Venice, and that time I took this photograph. Roadside cafe, beer is poured. Very quietly, there is a smoking this thing. There a book is being read. Very quietly, these two are going about of doing one task, and that is chilling. But an Indian famous doctor doesn't do that. Even in the boat of the Venice, he'll keep busy taking pictures. He'll doing other things because his brain is constantly thinking of multitasking. The next aspect is prioritization. You've seen Zubin Mehta managing an orchestra or somebody else. The stick in the hand actually does the prioritization. It directs it toward a violinist and goes up, the violinist ups his performance. It goes to a drummer and slows him down by using this. So this kind of orchestration will happen in your life if you learn this prioritization. The prioritization can be your main work, your parents, your family. How you prioritize them on a given day decides the prioritization. And time management is extremely vital for us doctors who have to do many other things. It's a mammoth task, of course, but you never seen an ant complaining because there is a mammoth task. I divide my 24-hour like this. I have to introduce this screen time, social media time of about 2 hours a day. Main work, medical work, about 10 hours. Afternoon rest, half an hour. Rest at night, 7 hours. Exercise, half an hour. So it makes 8, 10, 18 and 20. So every day after doing all this, I have 4 hours remaining, and I can divide them in commuting, for my hobby, for my family and friends, for webinars, or for my homework, whichever I want to do. So if I keep doing this time management well, then my homework gets better, my preparation gets better, my multitasking gets better, my serial unitasking gets better. And of course, exceptionally important is the rest. I believe in dividing the day in 2 parts because that makes sense, and then it gives you extra fillip to do the remaining part of the waking hour. Of course, I can't do like the Mahot is doing, resting in an elephant's arms, but there are ways and means of doing it. Next part of multitasking is the homework. This is how I prepared this talk. This is notice board in my study, and I prepared my mind map as to what all thoughts I can come to mind, what is the relevance to the audience, how the intelligence of the audience can be appealed to, is all there's a homework that goes into everything that you do. And look at this man in 2003, he looked like this, entertained us. And in 2021 also he entertains us with the equal zeal, equal efficiency. It is because he's a tremendous homework lover. There was a scene in Sharabi, he gave the scene right in the first attempt, is okayed, and everyone in the set was absolutely crying after the scene. And he said, I have rehearsed it 22 times at home. So he believes in kind of respects time of the others and also believes in strong homework. I have learned this homework from an invitation of a marriage invitation card I saw, Sthal Arthatas Pune, because it said in the end, parking chi soy nahi. I think it's a fantastic way of showing people that, look, you have to manage your parking or get a private vehicle, get a driver, or don't come. Doesn't matter, but don't fiddle around and then start getting distraught about the parking being not there at the place where the marriage took place. So actually homework involves all this, and it helps. The ability to say no. He was at the peak of his career, but he said no to captaincy because he now no longer multitasks. Now he wants to think of the serial unitasking, or he have to concentrate on batting, and it takes guts to do that. And that's what we should learn from these examples which are around us. Delegation of work, it horses for courses. You know which job is to be assigned to whom, clear instructions according to intelligence of that person. Actually, it is empowering that person, and it is not making him weak or putting him down. There are checks and reporting back and ability to trust somebody. Just like these 9 pins, they are lit at the time of a Jew festival. Every candle knows that the other is doing well. Same thing happened in the family or in a team, where you should trust others that they are doing their job. And then probably the whole picture gets better rather than doubting somebody's ability. Otherwise, this happens. You have a truck full of tires, but you have to wait for somebody to get another tire for you when it is punctured. And there is this perception. The giraffe is looking at the lion from the top because of its long neck. And when he looks from the top like this, obviously he's going to see the top of the lion. And his painting is not wrong. What he has painted is actually top of the lion. So you have to learn that there is something called perception. There is something called perception of being an workaholic and a multitasker. Such people are usually achievers. They are put on a pedestal. They are type A personalities. So we have to learn that there is something called perception. And this lady has struck a wonderful pose, and this is a beautiful picture. But so are these simple poses done by my friends. And that's why I always say that it is perfectly okay to be ordinary. You don't have to be brilliant every time. You don't have to think out of the box at all. You just to be normal things, day-to-day routine. Just be a Rama in your life. You don't have to be Krishna in your life. Just as workaholic is a bad word derived from work. Why I'm saying this? Because alcoholic is a bad word derived from alcohol. Similarly, workaholic actually is a bad word. But we put workaholics on a pedestal. We say, I'm a workaholic, or my son-in-law is a workaholic, and we are proud of it and other things. But it is not a good sign. It means you are doing something inefficiently. You're doing with closed eyes. You don't have a work-life balance. So especially if we doctors, though we have to do so many things, we have to learn that we have to prioritize and do serial unitasking to be efficient. We have, it is said that if Amir Khan was to be a doctor, he would look like this, because we end up losing our brain so much, or we end up burning our calories so much of the brain that we end up looking like this. And to do this serial unitasking or to learn multitasking, you do have to do nothing at all. If these are my OPD patients, say, then some of them go for angioplasty, some of them go for surgeries, some of them for other medical treatments and other things. All these things happening around me, all that I have to do is have a little view from a distance, and the same view looks beautiful. I have to do nothing else to realize that beautiful things are happening around me. I learn or do this multitasking without any effort, because I do this homework, I would do this prioritization, I would do this delegation, and I would learn to say no in so many other things. And then things happen, they fall in place, and a beautiful picture is placed around us. So if from birth to natural death, if we draw a line, like, then there are things like family, society, career, earning, and we get torn in this. As a doctor, we have to do so many other things, including our medical work. So he's absolutely torn in looking after all the others. So there is jugaad, there is sacrifice, and all these things happening. And in a very, shall we say, in a tired and this way we reach the natural death. Instead, look at the yellow square in between. If you have health as a priority, if you have time management, if you have priorities as a priority, and if you have serial unitasking, then you don't get torn with all this. You get this family, sociality, career, earning, you do it with elan. It comes to you with great ease, and without getting torn into anything, you can, in a laughing, easy way, reach your natural death. That's what I strongly believe. So multitasking, take home message is multitasking are a way of life. We cannot escape it. Traditionally, multitasking has not so favorable outcomes. Though it is glorified in the society, it's not a nice thing to do. Focus on multiple task execution in a defined period by serial unitasking. The crux is to train ourselves to do serial unitasking. And for that, you need clarity of thought, you need homework, you need prioritization, you need time management and delegation to do this serial unitasking. And in fact, without doing tom-tom about it, without dissecting it, Indian household, the Indian lady in the house actually have practiced multitasking with Elan for centuries. For us, it is nothing new. We've been doing it, and all that we have to do is get the perspective right, look at it from a distance, execute it very well, and you can do all these things very well in a defined period and be very smart, very effective, and without getting torn into day-to-day jaddojehat of life. I shall stop sharing my slides here, and I think we'll take some questions, if at all. More comments are more welcome, actually.
Thank you, sir. Such a wonderful talk. As your CV also said, sir can talk about he has exceptional skill in delivering talks on varied topics to varied audiences across the country, total of 3,000 lectures till now. And today ours will be probably cross 3,000, I think so. Now I request Dr. Prakash Mahajan, sir, for his concluding remarks on sir's talk. Over to you, Mahajan, sir.
Yeah. Very nicely delivered talk, sir. So much information given on a very vague and very small topic. It's really amazing. It's such a limited topic, has so many dimensions. I was really surprised. And I just wanted to comment on two things. You said that multitasking must be occurring. You said to train oneself in serial monotasking. That is very important, I think. You cannot train yourself in multitasking. You have to train yourself in unitasking. And that is what really helps. And that comment about housewife in India, we have been used to multitasking. Housewives have been used to multitasking for a very, very long period. You know, I'm
and
right
even
now,
the goddesses, Indian goddesses.
Sir, right now I'm in Jaisalmer on a Rajasthan trip. You know, I had visited the sand dunes in Jaisalmer, near Jaisalmer, yesterday night, and there was a traditional dance. And we are all adults here. I might just quote, you know, there was a traditional dance show. And what that lady was doing, she used to start the dance, stop in between, go back into a room, bring her child out, and on the stage itself, where the music players were there, she used to breastfeed the baby. And then after wedding, she used to start dancing again. So I was thinking about your talk that tomorrow I'll get an explanation about multitasking now. Is this multitasking or not? But these ladies are quite used to it. I was feeling really painful also at the same time because of the child. And I was really feeling perplexed also. How can one do such a thing? But I think that's the tradition in Rajasthan. So they don't feel anything about it. But that is one multitasking. Yes, multitasking is something very vague. And at every class, we find such multitasking. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for a very nice talk. Over to you, Padma Madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Mahajan, sir. And sir, there are no questions, but I request delegates, if anybody want to ask questions, they can raise their hand and ask. Otherwise, we'll carry on with our next this thing. Question and answers now. I'll just.
Dr. Rashmi. Yeah, Dr. Rashmi. I'm Dr. Rashmi from Nerul. I just want to know that I generally try to make a schedule for the day, but most of the time either it is a poor planning or whatever, it gets some of the other unplanned thing comes and it doesn't always get fulfilled. So like how to go about it, in the sense how do we cater for such things, and is it a good idea that we do the same thing later on without any guilt, like you always feel that you have not done the job properly?
Actually, it's a great question because this happens every day. So it's like business. In business, we will say that there'll be a 10% pilferage or something going wrong somewhere. So that much leeway in the time schedule itself we should have. In fact, when I plan my day, I have delay time of 1 hour. So I showed you 24 hours, but actually when I say, I would say in Indian situation, you would get delayed by various things. So that 1 hour I accommodate in the delays also. And of course, there is no question of guilt or anything. We have to prioritize. Prioritize means you have to know that this particular job can be left alone, cannot be done at that time. And when you express that inability to somebody, you should not have any guilt. And the way it should be expressed, that the person opposite realize that this person, the particular thing is impossible at that time. So it's a question, it's your own timetable. You should not get bound by the timetable. You should ride on it. There should be easy way of handling it. And always there is going to be 10% loss of the accuracy of the timetable.
So it's a good idea to plan the day early morning or before you sleep. Like what is maybe both? I don't know.
It all depends on how comfortable you are. Some people are late, early risers would plan it in the morning, but those who like to sleep late, probably it's planned at night. But your plan should be ready before the day starts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
I
Yes,
want to
Dr.
ask a
Prasad.
question.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Prasad.
So first of all, very nice lecture. It's really gave a fantastic insight to us. And I have one question regarding this, that being a doctor, we are always busy. And how much time we should take out to get relaxation, means in a day or in a week? Because I feel
Okay,
that
I got your
1 day
question.
is not enough to get relaxed.
Absolutely. I mean, what I feel is, see, 10 hours of main medical work. So if you really start at 9 o'clock and work without a break till 7 o'clock, that makes 10 hours. So nobody works like that. Even the busiest doctor doesn't work that way. So we have a lot of time in between, and that's why the whole thing gets spread out over a period of time. So suppose it is 10 hours and 2 hours of screen time, 7 hours of rest, afternoon time. So we get about, let's say, divide the day like that. I'd say delay time of 1 hour. But on, say, Sunday, you don't get any work time at all. So you have 20 hours free in every 2 weeks. So you have to make a 2-week capsule. So every 2 weeks, you have 20 hours free for yourself. Every day you don't meet your family and friends for 1 hour. So in 2 weeks time, you have 5 to 6 hours free for yourself. So in fact, the time scheduling allows you to have ample time to do everything. Rest, of course, I always believe that we need Saturday, Sunday off. I have not worked at all on Saturday, Sundays from my day one of my practice. So I have earned less, is what my other cardiology colleagues say. They labeled me as a lazy cardiologist, but I have no problems with it. But I feel that you need to rejuvenate yourself, because you have to, if you want to give yourself best again on Monday, you need to release yourself completely. So I believe that in those 2 days, what you will do is up to you, but it is away from your main work, and it really helps you rejuvenate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
One more
Hello.
question in the chat box.
I wanted to ask something, sir. Like, how do we actually suppose there are 2 good lectures going on, or Sunday also there are so many good lectures coming nowadays. So you have so many pending household work also. So you are always confused, and like you are always trained what to give priority, like how to go about it. So it is sometimes
Actually,
really,
what is priority
especially
for
with the intention of learning more, like you always, it is always a stress on your head that isse acha to pad le, isse acha to attend kar le, and then you are so confused even on Saturday, Sunday. So I don't know.
actually what is your priorities to be decided by you is one. What is your priority? The family must know. If you have told clearly that I wish to attend this and I have to attend this lecture on such, and they should all cooperate with you. That is what the way of the family should be. So priority is entirely up to you. And nowadays, thankfully, Like this one will also be recorded on YouTube. A lot of things which get recorded. So if you have a later on free time when things are freer, that time you can listen to these talks. So, and of course, suppose there is an important function in the family, then you have to give a toss to the lecture. So it's entirely prioritization comes from your own within, and you have to give importance according to what you feel is important that day.
Thank you.
So there is a question by Dr. Nilima Patil. She has asked, one second. Planning is always hampered
by new unexplained,
or
unexpected problems.
unexpected problems. It's always a panicky situation. How to handle this?
No. In your hands is planning, and nature does the unplanned things thrown at you. So your planning should be such a way that it should be loose planning, not totally bound by time or anything. You should be able to accommodate things, as they say, plan B or plan C. You should have a delay planning in your this thing. So always think that there will be something unexpected coming. And even if it comes, that it doesn't disturb your schedule is the beauty of planning. So planning should be such that it accommodates for unexplained items also.
Ma'am, can I go next, please?
Yes.
Okay, Snehal here. So, sir, actually, I have some comments for your session. It was wonderful for the visual treat in it and also the humor involved. So, I just really liked it, and I will try to be like, like tasker for that. But my question is related to the creativity part. For example, something comes up in your mind. You are doing some jobs, you are doing something, and suddenly something comes up and you want to write it, but you can't. So how to do when some creativity is there, you want to do some video or something like that. So how to do if, like some important prioritized job is there.
Correct. So you have to, what I do is write the germ of that creative idea somewhere in that 1 minute or half a minute break.
Mm-hmm.
So I've made in the smartphone a place where I go in the notes and write this. So just write the germ of your idea. Obviously, that time there is no time to do that. But later on, when you sit back and in your study or whatever time we think of, that germ can be then germinated. So if you get an idea, creative idea, then you put it on paper. Don't just keep it in your mind, because then you'll lose it. So keep it, write it somewhere in minimum words or the way you would remember later, and then approach that after some time. That will definitely, it has helped me a lot, because ideas keep coming. Suppose you are in a bath and you get some idea and you don't know what to do with it. So the way to do it is put it in minimum words and put it on paper. And then, of course, you will recall everything and do it later on whenever.
Sure, thank you. Because while seeing your PPT, I was thinking about it, like when you thought of this, like it is not a part of one sitting.
No, I showed you my preparation mind map. And then every point I kept working on, then every time I got a strong visual related to that, I put it. So it took almost 20 days for the home gathering the thing. And while finally putting the lecture, it took about 2 hours, because all the jigsaw had to fit in one place.
Wow, that was amazing. And another thing, I think you wanted to say something when Dr. Prakash was mentioning about the Rajasthan experience. So please, sir, I would like to hear. Yeah.
I was saying that for that lady, breastfeeding in front of public is no big deal. And that's how one should be. I mean, she's expressing herself that way. And I think this trying to hide or trying to go say is way of our doing things, but they are more close to nature. They are more like live like animals, nothing wrong in it. And there's no harm in being that way at all. All this sophistication has brought in some bad ideas in our minds. So whatever is natural is natural. I think we should respect that.
Wow, super. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I got one
Dr.
question.
Prashant Chandra Patil wanted to talk.
Okay.
You can
I'll ask
ask
it
your
after
question.
that.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. Namaskar. Please share your ideas about exercise, physical and mental health.
um, Exercise actually is about 150 minutes per week. Whatever you do, yoga, exercise, dancing, cycling, gymming, swimming, aerobic, otherwise weights, 150 minutes per week must be given for exercise. The other funda which we must learn nowadays, even as doctors and everyone in the family, is 100 seconds every half an hour. Every half an hour, you must use your feet and legs for about 100 seconds. So if you are in a clinic, stand up and do things or move around. So every half an hour, 1 hour, just like our household ladies used to do in our house, they would keep working through the day and then they never required any exercise at all. So this keeping active through the day on your feet using your leg muscle and 150 minutes is what you do for physical exercise. Mental strength is a very abstract thing. I think next year call me for that talk. I'll do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Majid, sir, you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I wanted to ask one thing. You mentioned multitasking is a straight no. It is a straight no. And we should always go for serial unit tasking.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm totally for this. You're absolutely right in this. But sometimes when you attend these lectures from life coach trainers, what they say is you should only focus on one aspect of your life.
Correct.
Focus, and that's how you do succeed.
Now, what
So
will
right
think?
now we are in a different mood. See, right now we say okay, we should focus, and the other time we say we should be serial monotasking. What is your take? What we
See,
should be
what
doing?
is serial unitasking means? Serial unitasking is focus on that task at that time.
Okay.
How it brings about the effect of multitasking is because you have prioritized it. You have worked on the series by which it will be done. You have used delegation to do some other things for you. But I gave you the example of zebra is for the same reason. Just do whatever you are doing. So when you are doing that job, just do that job. But because you have done a homework, your planning is in such a way that the next task will happen. And in that task also, you will be focusing. So the focusing aspect is not gone at all. It is still there, but you don't have to do hodgepodge things. Like, for example, I'm talking, I cannot answer a mobile phone at that time. I have to focus here. So that's what serial unitasking is.
Absolutely correct, sir.
I suppose that's it. No further questions. Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful talk. I think we all definitely believe that multitasking means that your brain gets more confused. You can't put all thoughts at one time and then you get confused and you don't know which to prioritize and all.
Correct.
So serial monotasking is the correct word. So we picked up that particular word from your talk, and all of us will benefit. Thank you very much, sir. Now
is it available on YouTube, the talk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's getting recorded. YouTube link is there. We'll be sending. It is there.
Please send it to me, sir.
Yeah. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Thanks for the invitation. I feel honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I request, now we had 3 competitions, writing, video presentation, and PPT presentation on regarding what all our delegates picked up from the course. So now I request Dr. Manasi to talk about the writing competition. She will give her views and then we will announce the winner. Over to Dr. Manasi, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Hiremat sir for his outstanding motivational speech. And now we are heading towards the end of this Rise and Shine course. All over the world, in all disciplines of profession, professionals are becoming knowledge workers by sharing what they experience and learn. This writing contest represents the same. We chose all the 3 topics related to the course learning. All your write-ups were extremely knowledgeable and that indicate dedication to this profession. Hats off to all of you. Panel of jury included myself and Dr. Maya Bhatt. Every write-up was meticulously assessed with all the necessary parameters. It was a rigorous and difficult exercise to select number one. The winners of consolation prizes are just as equal as the winner. With these few remarks, now I hand over the charge to Dr. Maya to declare the names of the winners. Over to you, Dr. Maya.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mansi. It is my pleasure.
Yes, please go ahead, Dr. Maya.
Yeah, it is my pleasure
Hello.
to announce the winner. And the winner is of writing contest, Dr. Jyotsna Sunil Avari. And the runners up are
नहीं कोई बात नहीं पर अभी कहाँ हैं आप लोग?
Dr. Prashant Chandra Patil, second is Dr. Amrut Gundecha, and third is Dr. Preetam Holkar.
Congratulations to all of them.
Yeah, congratulations to all of them.
Yeah, congrats to all.
Yeah, congratulations to all. And we'll be sending your mementos by courier in due course of time. Thank you, Dr. Mansi and Dr. Maya. Now we'll move on to the next competition. That is competition on video presentation. Dr. Snehal, over to you for your comments and announce the winner. Over to you.
Thank you, Padma ma'am. So congratulations to winners of the writing contest and the all runner-ups. Thank you for participation. And for video making, it was really great because video is something which is a visual treat to your eyes, as we have seen in the PPT of Dr. Jagdish. I think what is there in the video is something which we can connect to it easily. Okay, and that's what the job done by, I would announce the, Dr. Mateen Patel. He sent his video. So I would request Dr. Pratik to play the video of Dr. Mateen Patel. Yes. So the best participation and the memento will be given to him in due course of time. The video we asked about the same subject. Yes, here it is.
Hi friends, I am Dr. Mateen Patel, practicing family physician since last 27 years. My son introduced me to Google Sheet for keeping electronic medical records as Google Sheets are user-friendly, can be used simultaneously on many devices, you can edit data in real time. I started to learn how to use Google Sheet seeing YouTube tutorials. My greatest challenge was implementing it. I shared the idea with my staff, Swapnali and Maya, and was surprised by the enthusiasm in using the laptop. I explained to them how Google Sheet works. Initially, we had a lot of teething problems, but Google Amma was there to guide us at each and every step. My staff started filling name and mobile number to begin with, but slowly, as they became comfortable using technology, they could enter address, vaccination history, and drug allergy and existing disease details. As a general practitioner, I dispense basic medicine for my clinic and prescribe as needed. Now the issue was to create a seamless communication between the receptionist who is taking first level of details, me who will examine the patient and decide medication, and the compounder who will dispense medicine. Usually I orally tell my compounder to dispense medicine, but as Google Sheet is accessible in real time on phone too, she has access to the smartphone. That issue got resolved. I started to type abbreviations like para for paracetamol, famotine for famotidine, anti for antacid, etc. Examining patient, entering data, writing prescription was not as difficult as I thought it to be, and I had taken a first step towards digitalizing the practice. I have got a laser printer as it's cost effective. Now issuing certificate has become easy. I have started researching in clinic management software. Well, the journey toward digitalization has not ended, but has begun. Computers have lot of memories, but it is we who have to use our knowledge. I thank Mukta Foundation for taking initiative in educating and upgrading our skills.
Wonderful. Thank you and congratulations, Dr. Martin. It is a wonderful video. See, he has used creativity, he has used his best resources available in hands, and now we know his team over there in the clinic. So that is the impact of the video, and that's what we want you all to do. Whatever in your hands, Excel or anything, just get digitalized and happy practicing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Snehal, for your wonderful comments, and congratulations, Dr. Matin Patel. And over to now Dr. Archana, who will be presenting and telling her views about the PPT presentation. Over to you, Dr. Archana.
Okay, thank you, Padma ma'am. Good evening, friends. Dr. Prasad Sonis and me were looking into PowerPoint presentation competition, and you are all aware of the topics. And for guidelines, the guidelines we selected were relevance of presentation to the topic, design of each slide, and number of slides, maximum 7. So Dr. Bhatesh Wadkar, he had his presentation on pearls of my practice. It was a beautiful blend of practical tips with empathetic attitude towards patient. And Dr. Richi Shah, she also shared her presentation with us. And it was on steps to digitalize my clinic. She has given practical and useful tips on use of laptop to arrange data, advertising clinic's presence through social media and web, updating knowledge through webinars. So thank you so much, both of you, Dr. Bhartesh Wadkar and Dr. Richi Shah, for participation by taking up time in your busy OPDs. MCF will be presenting mementos as a token of appreciation for your participation. Thank you, Dr. Bhatesh and Dr. Richi. Padma ma'am?
Be presenting their PPT now?
No.
No, na? Okay. Yeah. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you, Archana ma'am. Now I request Dr. Kushal Mahajan, who will, now we will go to the feedback from the participants regarding our course. First, I invite Dr. Mukund to give his feedback on this essentials of effective and techno-savvy medical practice management course. So, are you there, Dr. Mukund?
Good evening, madam.
Yeah, good evening. Over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
First and foremost, I would like to thank MCF and all the team members for giving us a wonderful course. It's not only for medicos, it's also for paramedics. I am happy to tell you that I am a student of nutrition, exercise science, and yoga. And I have immensely benefited from this course. This is I am paramedical staff member, and I think what all was taught here, it was the excellent piece of knowledge given by all the 12 rishis, and at the same time also by the senior practitioners. Now this is useful not only to the doctors but also to the those who are helping the doctors, like paramedics, like nutritionists, psychologists, and also the exercise professionals like me. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Mukund, for your wonderful feedback. Thanks a lot. Encouraging words from people like you only make us do better in our subsequent courses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I request Dr. Harshala Babar for her comment, for her feedback, please. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, Mukta Charitable Foundation, for giving me an opportunity for the concluding part of this Rise and Shine series. The series, as mentioned in the title, was really helpful and fruitful. As we know, the world has changed since this pandemic, and it has bifurcated into types of practices, like the traditional practice that is pre-pandemic, and the pattern of practice has changed post-pandemic. During this pandemic, we eagerly required digital platforms, and we could handle communication between patient, us, and our colleagues. Our vision towards practice was needed to change, and MCF helped us out. MCF conducted this series very nicely, keeping in mind the basic knowledge regarding digital platforms, learning techniques, uh, learning techniques like using computers, laptops, different apps, handling patients' previous records, using PPT, Word, MS Office, Adobe's Lightroom, and Photoshop. For this, many stalwarts helped us, like Dr. Sanjay Pujari, Dr. Prakash Mahajan, Mr. Chittaranjan Dev, a digital guru, who gave us vast and in-depth knowledge in lecture series regarding why and how to use computers and smartphones and usefulness of different apps. Using internet in clinic and making digitalization of clinic, and also all of them suggested all to go paperless clinic. And it all made awareness in all of us regarding great usefulness of different digital platforms as well as social media. For this example is very much we know Dr. Mateen took very enthusiastic step and motivated others for computerization of clinic. Dr. Mahajan sir was very eager in recommending developing specialties in practice, and he emphasized, guided us how to become master and well-known in one or two types of patients. Also, CA Miss Monica Nagre was very much meticulous while guiding us in financial management of doctors. As per her statistics, doctors may be genius in his field, but they are weak in finances. So guys, be wise regarding your money because we don't get pension. During this, we got to know about rule of 72, 100, 114, 144, etc. And also the rule of 70 about inflation. All were eye-openers. Also, Mediclaim, term insurance, and professional indemnity are much essential part of doctor's professional and personal life. She also suggested second and third source of income along with main profession. We got to hear by an international motivational speaker, Dr. Anuradha Tote ma'am, regarding time management and how to use every portion as well of day as well as life. Also got very clear and nice ideas regarding communication between patient and us. Along with this, it was very necessary to hear about medical legal aspects, and Dr. Navrange sir guided very nicely by providing basic medical legal aspects, and he emphasized on how different consents of patients are must. Along with this, we had very beautiful words by senior family physicians, father figures in family physician community, very enthusiastic guidance by Dr. Vijay Jagtap sir, Dr. Rajiv Jagtap sir, Dr. Rajendra Deshmukh sir, Dr. Sachin Yadav sir, Dr. Padmanav Keskar sir, and Dr. Jogrekar ma'am. Last and not the least, the feather in crown was Dr. Jagdish Hiremat sir. His lecture was like on multitasking, the father figure in handling multitasks, many tasks, and still very fresh and enthusiastic in teaching all of us. He emphasized on prioritization, unitasking, and rather than multitasking and proper homework. Thank you once again, MCF and Dr. Mahajan sir, for giving me a task for giving sum up of this series. This series will help all of us in developing new era medical practice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Harshla, madam, for your feedback. Now we move on to Dr. Amrut Gundetsa for his feedback on this course. Over to Dr. Amrut.
Thank you very much, ma'am. First of all, I take this opportunity to thank Team MCF for the wonderful out-of-the-box theme, Rise and Shine, the essentials of effective and techno-savvy general practice management. This series gave us a new approach towards family practice. It's a time to rise and shine, master the essentials of general practice, and be techno-savvy. Why techno-savvy? Because it is said that either you be the change or be with the change, or you will perish. A living example is Nokia. It rejected Android and is nowhere now. There is another proverb, jack of all trade and master of none. But our Mahajan sir says, you be jack of all trade and at least be a master of one, and you will stand out of the crowd. Computerization and digitalization will give you an edge in your practice. It will help you to keep more data, evaluate the patient, and have a good patient management. This series removed all the fears regarding digitalization and the use of computers. The lecture on financial planning and management was excellent. The take-home message was plan and invest early to let your money earn more for you. Our motivational speaker too was to the point regarding time management and doctor-patient relationship. As she said, you cannot achieve everything in one go, but definitely you can achieve one thing at a time and fulfill all your objectives you have planned. Do's and don'ts of medical practice from medical legal point of view was very well explained by Navrangi sir. To conclude, to flow is the nature of river, and to share knowledge to the fullest is nature of MCF. Thank you, MCF. Over you to ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Amrut, for those wonderful words. Now over to Dr. Rutuja Dumal for her feedback. Are you there, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm an intern from Dundumama Sati Homeopathic Medical College. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. So my feedback was all sessions were very informative, like how we can keep our knowledge up to date with the medical literature, like benefits of digitalization, basic ideas about financial planning, managing small hospitals, etc. Pulse of practice session was also very unique. We get to know the experience of our senior doctors, which was really very helpful. So this course has provided a very valuable information for my career. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rutuja. Now over to Dr. Prashant Chandra Patel for his view. He has raised his hand. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank MCF for giving such a wonderful opportunity to all of us who are practicing and students and also paramedicals. It was for me like getting back to the classroom after almost 22 years. It was a wonderful garland of various subjects, and not only medical practice, but also finance, also law sector, also medical legal. And at the top of that, today's lecture, Dr. Jagdish Hiremat sir, who insisted on multitasking in the way of serial unitasking. I think such a wonderful opportunity to doctors, interns, and all paramedicals. I again thank to MCF and all the participants, Dr. Mahajan sir, Dr. Padma Iyer, Dr. Rupa, Dr. Jayashri, and Dr. Prasad Sonis. Both are my classmates, and wonderful experience throughout the lecture series. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for those wonderful and kind words, sir. Over to Dr. Mateen Patel for his comment. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I thank Mukta Foundation for this wonderful course. Actually, I always wanted to digitalize my clinic, but I never had courage to do it. I was inspired by Dr. Prakash Mahajan, and a proper channel or a path was shown explained by Mr. Chitranjan Dev. And actually, I'm really happy digitalizing my clinic. And I'm really thankful to Mukta Charitable Foundation. This course has taught us soft skills, communications, and interaction with the patient, how we are supposed to do. And I tell you, it is this interaction, soft skill, which is not taught anywhere. And over a period of time, we learn it. And Mukta Foundation has taken a very good initiative, especially for our doctors, because general practitioners are still family physicians. And people look on with us with respect. They look on whenever there is a health crisis, they come to us. Whenever a physician or a specialist gives their opinion, they come to us, they cross with us, check with us, okay, doctor, should we do this? Should we do not do that? And they have a lot of faith in us. So this soft skill helps us a lot. We have to speak softly with them, clearly explain the patient about his illness, and don't give false hopes or assurance, and be specific to the point of treatment. And we have learned a lot from this course. Thank you, Mukta Foundation.
Thank you very much, sir. And over to Dr. Rashmi Agarwal for her comments and feedback. Over to you, ma'am.
Very wonderfully designed course. Actually, maybe in first time in 25 years, such a course has been designed, which is like covering all the non-medical part also, and like which is very important for all of us. I've never come across such a beautifully designed course. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your feedback. I suppose anyone else is not there, then we'll go back to the next part. I request Dr. Kushal Mahajan to announce about the future courses of MCF. Dr. Mahajan, are you there?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Now, Mukta Charitable Foundation is coming with our next course, certificate online course for pharmacology and beyond. Basic essential of pharmacology. The course starting from 16 February 2022 to still next 3 months. That is 27 April. The course timing is on Wednesday and on Saturday. The time is 3:30 to 5 p.m. The fees for is 1,800 for the general practitioners and other doctors, and for 1,000 for medicos, interns, and with college student with the college verifications. The course contain with the basic essential clinical knowledge of pharmacology. We are conducting this online certificate course with Bharati Vidyapit University and Mukta Charitable Foundation. You can contact with Dr. Gayatri Thette ma'am for the registration, Dr. Rupa Agrawal, and myself, Dr. Kushal Mahajan. I will hope we will get more like that. जैसे हमें पहले से ही हमें हर MCF के कोर्स को अच्छे से रजिस्ट्रेशन मिलते हैं, वैसे इस आगे वाले आने वाले कोर्स को भी मिले, और we are looking for सबका support. Thank you for that. Over to Padma ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Mahajan, sir. And over to now few announcements before we disperse and say goodbye. Now, first announcement is winners of the competition. All three will get their mementos through courier, and all the delegates will be mailed their participation certificates, and lectures of this particular course will be available on the Snow Pandit platform till 28th February. Now I have the sweet job of thanking everybody who were responsible for making this practice essentials of effective and techno-savvy medical practice management course a grand success. Now the first one is, it is due to Dr. Prakash Mahajan sir, who conceived this course for, it's a first of its kind, and it is his brainchild, as Dr. Jayashree Sonis had depicted in her PPT presentation. And with all the topics, everything was selected by him. We were just mere executors and just helped him and he only guided us in that. I thank all the MCF team, Dr. Rupa, Dr. Mahajan sir, Dr. Anu madam, Dr. Jyoti Shinde, my co-convener, Dr. Jayashree Sonis, Dr. Mansi Pahade, Dr. Archana, Dr. Maya, Dr. Kushal Mahajan, and Mr. Siddharth, Jyoti's son, who really helped us with all the other flyers and other thing in the initial part, and White Core Technology, Mr. Ghanashyam and Mr. Pratik for their technology support, and all the audience, wonderful audience, for being there, appreciating our efforts, and making this course a grand success. Thank you, all of you. And I request Dr. Jayashree also to, and Dr. Mahajan also, to join me in thanking all of you for a wonderful and for giving us wonderful opportunity to to be conveners of this course. I thank Dr. Mahajan and I thank Dr. Jayashree Sonis also. Dr. Jayashree, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, we are thankful. Yes.
Yes,
Mahajan sir. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. But one correction, Padma madam. I was just a planner, and you are the great execution.
Nice.
You executed the whole series very immaculately.
Nice.
And planned it also very well.
Jayashree was actually doing a lot of legwork, and she really lessened our burden. Wonderful co-convener, and it was a lovely working with her and you and the entire MCF team, sir. It was a wonderful opportunity. I enjoyed every second of it. Thank you.
I will thank Dr. Jyoti Shinde for guiding me in this process of whole web series. I don't know, I called her each and every time, and she was there to help me a lot. So I thank Dr. Jyoti Shinde. Dr. Jyoti Shinde, are you there?
Before I forget, Snehal, I think
Yes, Snehal also. Yeah.
Snehal is really wonderful. She's a techno-savvy, and she also helped us in every single this thing.
Yes. Dr. Snehal helped me, and Dr. Jyoti Shinde also helped me in this PPT presentation also. And they guided us. Even Dr. Archana, Dr. Mansi, they also guided me a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
And ma'am, you are the beautiful convener.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It was a wonderful teamwork, and I think finally that is what matters. No single person can do anything. It's a teamwork. Dr. Mukund, you want to tell anything?
ऍक्च्युली प्रतीक, आपण युट्यूब बंद करूयात रेकॉर्डिंग, पण एक इन्फॉर्मल टॉक जर कोणाला बोलायचं असेल तर रेकॉर्डिंग आणि युट्यूब आपण बंद करूयात. ओके.
Very true. Very